Hey everybody, welcome to the StompBox situation. My name is Ian.
And my name is Austin, and today we interviewed Steve Stanley, the guitarist for Foxglve. We went through his pedalboard, we went through his amp setup, and a couple guitars that he brought in.
Yeah, and we got to hear a lot of the tones that you'll be hearing on their album that's set to release later this year. If you want to check them out, you can find them on all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, under Foxglve, without a O in the glove, Glve. And we had a lot of fun recording this episode today. It was a lot of fun having Steve in, and so let's just get into it.
You know what you're doing, and you know what you're doing, and the fact that you knew it makes it worse that you blew it.
Well, thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks for having me.
Today we have Steve as our first guest ever on the StompBox situation.
I'm honored.
I'm excited.
Yeah, this is many first times for everything here.
We'll see what happens. We have Guinness around. I'm drinking Alka-Seltzer. It's a good time.
Turn up.
Yes.
Steve's board is about the size of my floor. So what do you got going on here, man?
So when I started with pedals, maybe like 6 years ago, I started with just a DS1. It's like the rest of us probably.
Oh,
yeah.
I had a DS1, and my dad had a 1980 DoD stereo chorus that took one of those 9-volt prong adapters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it those really tiny ones?
No, it was it was the one that had the really odd rectangular switch on the bottom of it that took up half the pedal.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were trying to copy a Boss. But anyway, so that was how I started. Then it just kind of went downhill from there. I found out what Equipboard was.
Wait, what is?
Equipboard?
What is that?
Equipboard's like this website where you can go and look up your favorite artist and just kind of see what they're using. So I was like, oh, Dude, Arctic Monkeys is the shit. Let's see what they're doing. And then I kind of went on there and I bought half of Alex Turner's board and half of Jamie Cook's board. So I had I was like, okay,
so
cool.
from that first pedal, that's when the addiction just started. You just jumped right in, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I was playing a $300 delay pedal through my $200 custom half stack.
Yeah.
With just a piece of shit Epiphone 100 Les Paul. So yeah, pedals were always kind of, that was what I sunk my cash into. But yeah, so on my board now, the only thing that's more than 2 years old is going to be my T-Rex Dr. Swamp.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Klon.
Yeah.
But you can get it to be just total balls out too. So the way I use it is on, just the light channel. It's my clean tone. I mean, you can get it to, be crazy,
So you can get it to bite. Yeah.
You can get it to really bite. I mean, I blend it a lot too. I used to use a tube screamer all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my always on. And then when I wanted more distortion, I'd kick on the tube screamer.
Yeah.
Then I got rid of that and I got the Riverside, which is...
How do you like that?
I love that pedal.
Yeah?
It's great. I mean...
Okay, so is that a digital overdrive or distortion, or is it an actual, an analog one? I'm still confused with that and how that pedal works.
Yeah, that one I actually don't know. I'm pretty sure it's a digital, but yeah, I actually don't know. I just kind of... I went into the store and I saw it and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's gold.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried it out and I was like, oh, that's cool. So that was, I went and sold the guitar and bought that, but... Yeah, I mean, what kind of sold me was that it has a 6 dB boost to it. So, if I need to just, because I use the neck pickup on my telly.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I need to drive that a little bit harder, I got the option there.
Yeah, that's useful, especially if you prefer a tone on a neck pickup too.
Yeah.
Which I do too. Some people are much more into their bridge, but I don't know. For me, it's just get more clarity out of the neck pickup.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the guitar I'm using too. If I'm using, I have a Gibson Firebird that I use a lot. So that one I use the bridge pickup a ton. So that one I hardly ever use it. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a useful pedal. And you got 2 presets too. So you can kind of save if I want something for higher gain and one for just a fuzz kind of sounding thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. Yeah, and then I've got a ton of delay pedals. The Echo System is the newest one. I got the Empress.
Yeah.
This thing is rad. I love Empress. They're I'm definitely a brand whore for Empress.
Yeah.
What was the thing that sold you? Was it an immediate sell? That something about the pedal?
Well,
I'd
already had the Empress Reverb, which I love, and that's still on here. I mean, I've tried everything. I've got a Big Sky on here too, and I mean that doesn't, nothing against Strymon, but I don't think it touches the Empress.
No way.
Oh
Really?
yeah, dude. Check this out.
Let's hear it.
Just do like a spring. And then we'll do, just a regular spring on the Empress. I feel like it sounds more like an actual spring.
I see what you're saying. The top end on the Empress is a lot more clarity on it.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the Big Sky is because like if I use my T-Rex with it, it's just way too much top end. So
for sure, yeah.
I got that pedal on all the time. So
yeah, I know what you're saying though. There's more of a springy tone coming out of the Empress one for sure. More true to what a spring reverb might sound like out of a Fender amp.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because the setting on the Big Sky is called tanked. But yeah, so the Empress reverb is rad because it's a digital reverb, but I think it sounds just super clear. And you've got lots of weird stuff in there like the ghost setting, which I get a lot of use out of.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
That's
Ethereal.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
pretty fucking cool.
That is my favorite reverb by far. But I mean, yeah, you've got everything in there, and then it's got a nice delay setting in there too, which I use for a song that I pretty much the working title is Tom Greenwood because we were like, oh look, we've got our own Johnny Greenwood is what my bass player said, but he said Tom Greenwood because he was fucked up. Yeah. So now we call it Tom Greenwood. Yeah, it's because I kind of just do this. For like half the song.
That's cool.
That's pretty much it, but that's a reverb pedal.
That's great,
I mean,
man.
that's rad.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, because you can just have all sorts of fun with that one.
Yeah, and that's something you can't do in the Big Sky too.
Nah, you can?
No, you can't.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you show me, but
like what?
Yeah, so that's definitely my go-to reverb pedal. But I use the Strymon for if I just need like an overwhelming amount of top end. So like this one right here is one of my favorites. Kind of like it's like this destructive kind of sound,
Oh yeah, for sure. So do you use a lot of these? I mean, it seems like it. I guess I'm just assuming, but you play a lot of textural music, a lot of music that has a lot of like sort of sonic landscapes, if you will. A lot of like, I mean, a lot of these effects that you showed us have had a very ethereal vibe to them.
Yeah.
What style music do you guys currently play in your band? Like, how do these pedals come into play for you?
So it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe like Block Party meets Terra Melos meets, I don't know, some sort of like early 2000s indie rock band. But yeah, I mean, there's stuff that's like I have this multi-delay on the Echo system that I love because I haven't been able to find anything else that does it. But yeah, just one of the songs goes like this. So that's cool.
That's cool.
So that's kind of the stuff. Yeah. Or like Two Door Cinema Club. Like that's another good comparison. But
yeah, I hear the Block Party comparison too, for sure. In that.
Can we just hear the Echo system alone?
Yeah. So really all it's doing is it's just doing an exact 5 repeat of what I'm doing, and then it stops. Which kind of sucks. Because of that, I can't use the MIDI clock on my switcher. So now the rest of the delay pedal has no MIDI sync, but whatever.
So will it allow you to alter the runout to be more than 5? Or is that just...
5 is the max. But what's cool about this pedal is like on this delay right here, I have 2 delays running at the same time in parallel. So it actually, what's cool about this one is it's 2 analog delays in one box with the digital processor. So it runs everything through there, so there's no like feedback or anything. And it lets you add some cool stuff, like it has like a synthesizer on it and stuff. But yeah, like this one right here is 2 delays. So, I mean, that's one pedal doing that.
It's a badass delay pedal, man.
Oh, yeah. I've got another one that kind of sounds like that. That's kind of just like the patch I made in case this one ever craps out, but...
That's nice with a longer run out too.
Yeah, I mean that one's true analog with no processor or anything, and it's got some modulation and a reverb built into it.
I mean, you have some killer tones going on here. I mean, just in what you've showed us already, I feel like not a lot of people are always that comfortable with their boards and like that knowledgeable about the pedals themselves too. Some people just use it for like one setting. You seem to be very much know your way around all these pedals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I work in a music store too, so I kind of got to know, what I'm selling. But
yeah, absolutely.
It's a blessing and a curse because you look at all this cool stuff because you're like, oh, I got to know what I'm selling. And you're like, oh, that's really cool. I need to get myself one of those. Yeah. That's how half of this stuff happened. But, yeah, so that's my Empress stuff. And then I got the Disaster Transport up there, which is by Earthquaker. So that's the one I was comparing to the last patch. But so this one I have set up to my expression pedal right now. It's a twin channel analog delay with reverb built right into the signal flow. So instead of like adding reverb on top, it just sits right in there with the delay. Mm-hmm. You can switch it on and off if you just want one channel or the other. So right now I just have slapback. It's got the reverb on there, and you can choose whether or not you want to blend the modulation from channel to channel. Then, if you just want the longer one. I just hate the switches on this thing. That's my only complaint.
I was going to say, I haven't had the chance to play around with too many Earthquaker devices, but yeah, I was going to ask what you felt about them and generally just pros and cons, but...
they're great.
Yeah.
I love those guys. Yeah, I was actually thinking about getting the new distortion pedal they came out with. There's been a lot of stuff where I've been like, oh, that's super cool. Mm-hmm. But then I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, especially on this thing, real estate is expensive. So
yeah, I hear you on that, man. Austin and I talk about that all the time. Like, should I trade this for that? Sometimes, like, I have an old school Mutron on mine for like the auto wah.
Oh, nice.
Realistically, I could get a smaller one. They just released a Microtron too, but I just don't want to trade on that space because I love the vintage one and. But it takes up so much real estate.
Oh, those things are huge. Yeah, we had.
It's like half your board.
Back when I first started, at a Guitar Center where I work, we had this Maestro phaser that was like seriously half the size. I almost bought that. God, dude, that thing was so huge.
I remember that, dude. I came in and I almost bought that.
You would buy that,
yeah,
Austin.
Is it the PS1A or something?
Yeah, dude, that thing sat around for like a year.
No way.
Finally, we had it marked down to like $100, and some guy came in and bought it.
Oh man,
it was serious. That thing was so big. It was like half the size of this board. Yeah. This thing's pretty massive. But
that's too fucking funny.
Yeah. It was either that or the Mutron, and I got a Mutron instead.
Oh well, but solid. I think you made the right choice.
Yeah.
That thing kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, another thing about the Empress pedals too that's cool is I kind of wish that they would just add MIDI. They don't have it, but they started adding into their like control port, which is their expression pedal / cab emulator / whatever. You can put a connector in there to hook it up to their MIDI box, and then it translates it to MIDI. But
that's cool though.
It works with Chase Bliss pedals too, because they have the same thing. So if you have like a Brothers or like a Tonal Recall with like an Empress reverb and you want MIDI, you just have to buy one box, which is rad.
That's cool. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic feature. Seriously, especially that combination too, Empress and Chase Bliss. That'd be, I don't know, just fantastic.
That'd be rad.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you saw the new Empress pedal, but it's basically.
I don't think I did.
It's called the Zoya. It's basically like an Ovation launch pad put into like an Empress multi-effects pedal, and then you can like use it as a keyboard. That's
cool.
Wow.
It's so rad. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool, man. I'll have to check that one out.
That's probably where the big sky is going.
Yeah,
to be honest, probably get rid of that and grab that one. But yeah, so that's my Earthquaker spiel. This DD5 that I have sitting after the looper is basically just for one thing only, and it's just. because it has this really cool loop glitch that you can do. So if you have like a Brothers or like a Tonal Recall with like a Empress reverb and you want MIDI, you just have to buy one box, which is rad. That's cool. The if you just tap it super quick,
Oh, gotcha.
you can make it sound like a laser gun.
Okay.
Oh wow! So you can. So will that continue to run out like just infinitely?
Yeah, it's a loop.
Oh,
so I mean,
nice.
if you play it slower. So that's its intended
Okay.
use. That's not what I use it for, but I mean, it oscillates pretty cool too. I've used it, recorded a couple times, but
Yeah, I mean, you could use it to like sustain a note like you did to add some noise in there, some texture behind your playing. That's
Yeah.
cool. I like that, man.
Do you
Well,
find yourself using a loop station on live shows, or is that just more of a personal experimentation thing?
that's kind of like a personal experimentation thing. I don't think I've ever used it. I've thought about like, oh, you know, it has this aux port. It'd be really cool if I like took speeches or weird stuff and like looped it in there and like ran the stereo out to the PA.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's too much work.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
It's balls too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it could go wrong so fast.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's pretty. These two on the end here are probably my two least used pedals, except for maybe I have this pitchfork, which I just use basically as like a bass emulator.
Sorry, boss. You're out. That's dirty. That's great, man.
It's super dirty. I mean, you can, you know, turn the blend up a little bit higher. So that's pretty much what I use that for. I used to hook the expression pedal into it and just use it to like pitch bend up and down, like a whammy.
Yeah.
For like
I
half
was gonna
price.
say.
But
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome.
so that's that. Yeah. Oh, and then I got the RotoSim, which I know you're dying to hear.
I know. I'm itching to hear that.
Yeah, Austin's can't stay in his seat over there.
This is literally just like for if I'm doing like Joy Division, that's just like fucking around playing Joy Division, but like.
That's sick.
But what's cool is it does have like the fast slow button.
Yeah.
So now I have it as like an actual rotary.
It's a good sounding rotary too. I don't like every emulation of rotaries now. Like,
Really?
Yeah, some pedals they just don't sound completely right to me. But that one, I don't know. It's clean. It's
Yeah,
tasty.
I wanted
man.
to get that one for so long.
Well, and what's cool? I mean, it's a cool pedal. I'm just not in that kind of band.
Yeah.
You know?
You're not
But-
feeling
Yes,
that.
yeah. That's
Like-
more like post-rocky Smiths, Joy Division. I don't know. I can see
exactly.
being used in all those areas, like you were saying. Maybe even some like late '90s, early 2000s, like indie rock. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
It's a tough effect because it's I don't know. It's just like it's so noticeable. It's
Yeah,
not just
it's
like
not
a background
transparent at all.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's just like, hey, what do you think about adding this? You know, just I was, you know, what I was playing before was like, what do you think about this?
It's like it's in there, you know?
it's
like
all
a-
of a sudden the centerpiece of the song.
Yeah.
Like, unless you build the song around it, I feel like it's unreasonable to use sometimes. I know what you mean. Like it's just doesn't couldn't
Yeah.
fit everywhere for
Usually-
sure.
Usually when I turn that on, they go, "Hey, Soundgarden, calm down over there."
It's funny.
But
That's too funny.
yeah, but I mean, what's cool too is it has like overdrive built into it. So if you flip the overdrive gain switch, it does add a little bit of dirt.
Yeah, it's like you might as well, if you're going to go to the rotary sound, you might as well add a little dirt. Why not, right? That's what I think. I mean, if you're going to go for it, it's like I would just add the dirt every time.
Just totally wash it out entirely.
How long have you been playing guitar or music, I should say, because maybe you play multiple instruments?
I don't. I would like.
I don't.
Nah.
I mean, I'd like to. You know, I still live at home, so I've been like harassing, you know, the powers that be to be like, yo, let me get a drum set. They're like, that's too loud. And I'm like, I'll get an electronic one.
Oh
They're
yeah,
like,
same setup here
it's too
at my
loud.
house.
yeah. Yeah, I've been playing guitar for maybe like 10 years.
Ooh, it's a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a while. I mean, I never took any lessons or anything. So like, if I've been taking lessons this whole time, I'd be like, you know,
Godly.
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's many paths to get to the same place. I don't know. I talk about that with different people, right? It's like some people who are self-taught and phenomenal, and there's some people who went through school for 4 to 8 years and are still phenomenal also, but I don't know. It depends on what you're trying to achieve. That's what I always think about, right?
Yeah. Oh, and then you have the people that go to school for like, 4 to 5 years and pay like crazy amounts in tuition and are still just not good.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I think there's just multiple ways to go down different paths, but
for sure.
yeah, that's been kind of my deal. I play a little bit of bass, but I mean, that's just like guitar light edition. But
Guitar light edition, I like that. Yeah, my old bass teacher used to say, if you can just stay on the first 5 frets and you can make your whole living.
Pretty much.
You never have to leave them. And I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
I mean, now you don't even need a bass. That's why they have the pitchfork. Millennials are going to kill the bass industry.
Yeah, between producers just using like synth bass and pedals and effects, bass players might be obsolete in a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, synth players even,
right?
Like I said, this thing...
You see them replaced more and more nowadays with just a second guitar player or a guitarist who kind of does both. At least I've seen that, right? Where you'll have a guy, instead of a guy standing there on a little synth, often the guitar player will just have a really complex pedal board now.
Or just, a lot of guitar players too have like little synthesizers, off to the side too.
Yeah, one of those mini ones, yeah.
I mean, my ecosystem does this. I think if that was around when Radiohead was making like weird stuff, that would definitely be like an Edo Brown pedal for sure.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, it's actually last night after the gig I was playing, one of my buddies came up to me and he was in one of the other bands and he was like, you have like a crazy pedal board, but like you're tasteful with it. You're not just like totally obnoxious.
That's a good compliment.
Yeah, I'm just like, thank you. Yeah. Like I could do some gnarly stuff. Like if I turn every one of these pedals on, we're all probably gonna go deaf.
Yeah.
But first of all, if I turn like half of them on, it's probably just gonna be a washed out mess.
Mm-hmm.
That's
that happened to me yesterday. I accidentally turned on a tape delay, but I was tapping it at the same time. So in the middle of this really intimate part of the song, it just and I turned it off really fast, and I just started laughing. I was like, "Oh,
that's the worst feeling."
Noticed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, with this pedal's the worst if you're switching delays because it does this. Also, the switches on this thing suck. So, there we go.
Oh, that's what happened last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I switch to that, it's always, it tries to catch up, which is funny because this is like a million times faster than the other one.
Does the ecosystem have spillover?
I'm sure you could probably program it. I mean, dude, the manuals for these things are crazy. They're like 40 pages.
Oh, damn.
Like you can go into like advanced configuration mode by holding down 2 of the buttons, and then you can choose like if you want to enable or disable your MIDI clock, if you want to send it, left instead of right, if you want to send it to both, like it's nuts.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
I always wonder how many people actually take the time and play with that. I guess if you're using it in a studio, I've always thought, okay, maybe. But it seems like even you were saying with running a looper live, it's just at some point, it's too much energy, too much time, too much of you. For me, it becomes too much of not actually playing music.
The more stuff you add, the more stuff can go wrong. So that's the reason I haven't done like a stereo rig yet. Like I have the stuff, I just don't really want to do it.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I've heard that about stereo rigs too, because like sometimes I've been to even like some of the blues and rock guys who will use a stereo rig, but I've heard there's very sensitive and you got to be like a technician for your whole rig at that point, because if you don't, I don't know, if you're not like making sure everything's really like in order, I don't know, like you said, things can go wrong very easily, and that's never fun at a live gig.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, it's that too, and it's just like also just bringing extra stuff and like hooking extra stuff up and
like if you had somebody carrying your stereo rig in for you, right? At
I'd be
that
totally
point,
fine
it'd be
with
like,
it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to carry it and sick.
Yeah, but that's probably the best compliment you could receive from a friend, like what your friend said to you about your pedal board.
Yeah.
And just even in this time of you playing, like the way you go about even exampling the pedals, very tasteful, and very, and it's shown me, like I always tell Austin, like there's some pedals, like even delay effects where I don't know really where to use them in my music or playing. And, it's cool watching you play some things and show us how to use some of these because it's inspiring, gives me some different ideas. Thanks, how man. I could use them too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome, dude.
Well, and the cool thing too is, I mean, like, when you have pedals that work really well together, like I think the ecosystem and the reverb work super cool together. You can do you can get really cool combos. So this is reverse reverb and reverse delay. And so I mean, like,
so fucking cool.
It's I love
so
it.
nice.
That's the best way to start a song.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah. That's
people walking on stage and you're doing that.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's gonna be our intro.
Is it?
Oh yeah, that's
Is
right.
that an actual piece?
Well, it's I mean, it goes into a song. It's kind of like we call that one interpol because we don't know what to call it right now because there's like a very interpol part in there. But
Maybe you should just call it that. Leave it that. It sounds, like a beautiful transition or an intro. Maybe
Yeah, it does.
Maybe even an outro if you'd want it to be.
well, yeah, well the intro and the outro we wrote it was like the first song and then like the last song that we wrote and just not even thinking about it as like order on the album. But we're like, oh my god, they're in the same key.
Yeah.
And they both have the same feel. That's so rad. But I mean, I think
that
that sounds way better than just like the the Big Skies swell. It's just like more predictable. It's been done a million times.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Austin?
I just have to agree. I just totally agree.
Yeah.
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 I swell a lot, and I love my Big Sky. That's the heart of my board. Like everything is based around the Big Sky for me.
Yeah. Well, you also have to consider that I'm using $900 worth of pedals for that sound versus $500 worth of pedal right there.
That's a great point.
It's cool though. I think it's
Yeah.
a whole different vibe from the swell versus reverse into reverse.
Yeah. Exactly. Especially, I mean, like with the way that I have it flowing into the signal chain is they're both running parallel. So there's not one into the other. It's just running the same. Which, by the way, we haven't even talked about the switcher yet.
Yeah, no, yeah. Want to get into it?
Not really, but I'll do that. Yeah. Yes,
No
I mean,
rush. You could just leave the switcher for the end. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
I mean, this is the newest thing I think on my board. Total, it's insane. Like it does way more than I will ever need it to do. You can have this act as like an A/B box and switch between amps based on what preset you have your amp saved to.
That's cool.
It's crazy. You can have it
That's
switch
cool.
instruments too. So if you wanted to like have a synth rig plugged, let's say you want like a synth rig plugged into your PA through your pedal board, you can click a button on here and have it go, oh yeah, that's going to be my synth preset. So yeah, there we go.
Oh, wow.
Now my guitar shut off and I'm using my synth.
Oh, that's badass. Like exactly for what we were talking about too. If you're a
Exactly.
guitar player and you have the synth next to you,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Or if you have two guitars that you want to switch between very quickly, you could do that too. I don't know
Absolutely.
why you wouldn't just unplug the cable, but that's what I do.
Exactly.
But yeah, I honestly right now I'm using it for like the bare minimum, just turning on and off pedals.
Just so
But,
you run through one pedal when you want.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I could do if I wanted is I could save it all to presets. So like I kind of started to do it. So I have like this is for the one that has the this delay on it. So I have it as multi intro because it's multi delay, and it's like the intro to the song. So if I go to it, it turns on my overdrive pedal and my echo system, which is what I use. And then if I go up, it switches to multi verse, which would be all the pedals I would use during that part. So
Gotcha.
I
That's
mean,
cool.
and you can save you can save 999 presets in there.
Yeah. So what made you choose the ESA versus something in the same kind of feel like a Mastermind or
I got a really
G2?
good deal on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was literally
that
it.
could be a selling point. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it like half off, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, I don't know how to say no to that. I don't think I'm allowed. So I mean, that's pretty much the reason that I get any of this stuff. It's the reason why I have more Empress stuff than Strymon for sure.
Oh, really?
Oh, I got to pay full price for Strymon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Empress stuff. I mean, I got mine like half off because it was like the initial run. So I think I have like the 30th Empress reverb.
Yeah, maybe,
which is rad. But
yeah, maybe it's a dumb question, but does working at a music store influence your use of pedals? Do you think you would use less pedals if you didn't work at a music store, or is it just generated from you wanting to play music?
I probably wouldn't have as crazy pedals because I wouldn't be able to afford them. I'd
So
be
true.
like, you know what? I think I'm probably fine with like a giga delay instead of the ecosystem. But
For sure.
yeah, I mean, definitely a big incentivizer. It's the reason I have like half my stuff, to be honest.
I mean, you set it up perfectly, really. I mean,
Yeah.
work at a music store, and then, you can benefit your craft and creativity. And I don't know, clearly you use these too. I've seen some people with like a big ass board and you don't really use some of their pedals, and it seems like a waste of space. But
yeah, I mean, there's a couple on here that I don't use. I really like the Rotosim, like that's, so I mean, I'm getting rid of that. But and the Big Sky, like I'm just not getting enough use out of it. The guy who sold the Big Sky to me wants it back, so now I don't feel so bad about it. So I'm like, all right, now I can just chalk it up to seller's remorse instead of indecisiveness. But yeah, so I mean, I try to get the most out of everything that I use. Yeah, working at a music store definitely helps.
yeah.
So if you ever want a ton of pedals, just go work for Guitar Center, or Instrumental
That's a
Music,
good
or
point.
wherever you want. Yeah.
So looking at your board, it looks like you have a lot of time-based effects versus overdrive or distortion. Like, do you find yourself just using that from your amp, pushing into your amp kind of thing?
I mean, I could. The distortion on this amp sounds killer, but this is probably the only distorted amp that I have. So I mean, like the other two amps that I have is a Fender 68 Vibrolux, like the reissue, and then I have a 75 Twin Reverb, which are both just like
Even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just both super clean amps. Like the Vibrolux drives really well, but you gotta get it to be loud,
Yeah.
Whereas this thing, it's got a master volume and it has a high and low gain switch on the back. So, if I go back there, hopefully I don't blow our eardrums out.
Mine are already blown out.
I'm ready.
I'm deaf already. Let's do it.
Ooh, that's dirty.
Yeah, that's
That's dirty.
Oh yeah, that's
dirty.
badass.
And that's on low gain.
That's sick.
But that's just that's just with the channel volume just dimed.
Do you want to talk about your amp for a little bit?
I would
I was
love to.
going to ask the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Love
this
to
is
hear about
actually this is one that I just like got a deal on randomly. Like I just found it used somewhere and it had been sitting there for a while, so I'm like, "Hey, let me pay you like half of what this should go for." And they're like, "All right." So I was like, "All right." But yeah, it's a Three Monkeys Grease Monkey. I think out of all the people I've told, they're like, "Oh, what do you have?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a Three Monkeys." Everyone's just like, "Oh, what's that?" So it's like I forget his name, but it's the guitar player that's not Joe Perry from Aerosmith, and then his amp tech.
I love that. The guitar player that's not Joe Perry.
That's the worst place to be in life. The guitar player that's not Joe Perry.
Yeah, the guitar player is not Joe Perry. Him, and then his guitar tech, and then one other guy that I think designs the circuits make these amps in North Carolina. So they're made to order. That's cool. So yeah, it's super cool. I mean, like it just looks really rad.
Oh yeah, I mean, and compared to just buying an amp, it's just like made for everybody. It's so much better. I don't know, have the custom thing, even if it's not custom made for you. Just a custom amp's better than, I don't know, buying one off the floor, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, not to knock the Fender stuff, it all sounds great, all the mass-produced stuff, but
For sure.
my Vibrolux, I paid like $1,200 for it, and then I had to swap through 3 of them because the reverb kept breaking, and then I just kind of accepted I wasn't going to have reverb on my Vibrolux.
Yeah.
So mine's still, like, the reverb cuts out after about 15 minutes,
Oh, dude, that sucks.
Yeah, but, I've got 2 reverb pedals, so it's okay.
You're okay.
Yeah.
I forgive you, Fender.
Yeah, you're good.
But
Yeah, I know. So many of the reverb pedals are so good at modeling it nowadays. It's like you can even have an amp without reverb.
this thing doesn't have reverb.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so I mean, the amp is super cool. It's basically just like an AC30 clean tone with a Marshall Plexi as the dirty.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's just like not
Badass.
as muddy as a Plexi. I don't think, which is weird because I like never thought I would like Marshalls. So
Yeah.
I think that's why I like that one. But
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what it is when I just think of Marshall or Vox. I just get this feeling like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Like, I guess if you plug into it and it sounds great, then it doesn't matter who it is. And I couldn't imagine myself liking a Marshall Plexi, but if it sounds good, then
yeah,
then why
that was
not, right?
That was the thing. I plugged into it and I'm like, this sounds better than what I have. So I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And then, went home and did the research and found out that I got it for like an absolute steal. So
Yeah,
I was like,
half
oh,
the price.
cool.
Makes it even better. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
I was
cherry
like, oh.
on top.
Rad. Yeah, then I have that right now just running into just like this Vox 212 right here, which, I mean, I bought it like 90% for the aesthetic.
Yeah, well, it looks good.
It looks pretty rad. Yeah, I mean, like a mint green head on like a white and gold cab.
Oh yeah, no.
Pretty rad.
Between that, your telly, and the pedal board, you got the look for sure. It's nice and crispy, man.
Crisp.
Crispy.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, Yeah, I definitely bought it for the look. I mean, it's got some decent speakers in there. I definitely want the Alnico Blues, but those are pricey.
Yeah, those are a pretty penny, man.
Yeah, there's like $400 a pop. That's like what I paid for the cab, I think.
Yeah, it's Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to put some new speakers in my amp, but we'll see. But what my repairman says, mine always have. I have a like a vintage. I don't know what year it is. I'm trying to get this guy to figure it out for me, but it's a dual Showman.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I really like it because it's a big ass Fender amp, and so what's not to like about that?
Oh, yeah.
But I always have this volume cut after like 15 minutes of playing or something where I'll just randomly cut lower in volume. It'll be super quiet, and then it'll pop back up like 5 minutes later and be super, super loud. And so I took it into this guy, but we'll see what happens. But, you know, I love Fenders, but there you go. Like another Fender issue. And then Austin has his Vibrolux, which he's taken to get repaired.
Vibrochamp, dude.
Or Vibrochamp.
Did you ever talk about that?
Yeah, you told me about it briefly.
It's still broken, man.
That sucks.
This is the third time back to the amp repair guy.
And we're back to the Shit Talk Fender show.
Yeah.
We love you, Fender.
Yeah.
It's not your
a pain in
fault.
the ass, dude. I'm telling you.
It's like a friend who's like kind of annoying sometimes, but you ultimately love them because they bring so much to the table, you know, and then you just
they're like that friend that's like super cool and genuinely cares about you, but is always asking you for rides and like if they could borrow $5.
Yes, thank you. That's a perfect description.
We all have that friend. Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
If you don't have that friend, you're probably that friend. Hey bro, can I borrow a patch cable? I should be getting one like next week.
Yeah. Or the can I borrow your amp guy?
Oh, God. That's a whole different category.
Shit.
That's like, that's like the equivalent to like,
sorry.
in the amp world, a PV practice amp. That guy asked to borrow your amp, you know?
Yeah, or someone with a crate. You're like, hey dude, like,
You're holding a cable already? Hey dude.
So I came to the open mic. All I don't have is an amp. So what you're saying is you brought a guitar and that's it. He's like, yeah, I might need to borrow a cable too. It's like,
yeah, dude. I mean, half the time that we show up at shows, it seems like someone forgets to bring a drum. You know, like the backyard shows where there's no backline. Like, hey man, can we use your drum set? It's like,
yeah.
Like I guess
that's
I
such a
feel
big
like a dick
thing to
if I say
forget.
no. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like how'd you forget that?
I guess, but what was your game plan up until now?
like, yeah, dude.
You're
Sorry,
just
we forgot our entire drum set.
Oh, don't worry, Steve. I'll get there and just ask the other guy to borrow his drum set.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, oh, dude, I forgot picks. Can I borrow a pick?
Yeah.
Really, if you forget your pick, it's amateur hour. You know?
Yeah.
But you know, if you forget your pick,
come on.
You know,
If you don't have one in some pocket or wallet
Somewhere
or
on
compartment
you.
or your guitar case, you're failing for sure.
yeah, definitely. I've got them stuck everywhere. I think I have one inside of my DD5.
No, you don't. Do you really?
I should, unless someone
That's
stole it.
too
Holy
funny.
shit.
Is this like the all went to shit emergency pick?
Yeah, I did. You know what? I may have given it to my singer.
But you know what?
This is basically my Altoids tin.
I honestly might borrow that idea.
That's a good idea.
Toss a couple into my Boss loop pedal or my tremolo.
Dude, you know, if you don't have space for an Altoids tin, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Also, does the Altoid tin look cool or not? What's the verdict on that?
I don't know.
Austin's
I
looks
used to have one.
Oh, you took it off?
Yeah, I
I
took
thought
it
you
off.
still had it.
Yeah.
I think it's overdone now.
Yeah,
Think
it's
so?
I think we got to move on to the next thing.
What is the next thing?
Sticking it in your DD5.
You heard it here first, folks.
Oh.
Pop a couple picks in your Boss pedals. No,
Stick
just your
it in the
DD5.
DD5.
DD5s are going to go way up in value after this podcast.
Yes.
It's so funny.
Every pedal we review.
Yeah, that would be the goal. Then I could sell all of them and buy new stuff.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, well, plug Steve and his amateur pedal shop.
Speaking of plugging, y'all should check out my band, Foxglove Band, on Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you have anything you want to plug.
Yeah, if you want to hear more crazy shit.
Yeah, and is Foxglove without an O, or is it with an O?
Okay, so on Instagram, Foxglove Band was taken. So was Foxglove the band and Foxglove. So we were Foxglove Band with no O in glove. Mm-hmm. It's like normally people figure it out. We hope.
Yeah. No, I certainly did. I just was wondering because, it was distinct from the other Foxglove bands, and I just thought, like, maybe there was some meaning behind it or something, taking the O out. I don't know.
It was literally just that the domain name was taken. We had to do what we had to do.
You gotta do what you have to do. It's
Yeah.
like the DD5,
Wonder how many bands were named that way. Maybe like, we couldn't have
Wasn't that like
blank. We'll just have to take Metallica.
Yeah, I mean, Blink-182, they really exhausted their options. There were 181,
Really?
Other Blink-182, no.
But
So you're working on your full-length record right now, right?
Yeah, so we've done, a couple EPs before as like our previous bands, which was, like Hey Suburbia when we were 14 and wanted to be in like a hardcore band. Mm-hmm. We did one or maybe two, back then. And then we did one as the Crippled Strippers, which was the last venture.
And that's called Jane, right?
Yeah. That was the last thing we did before we changed the name a couple months ago, and that was just we got rid of our old drummer, got a new one, so we figured just change the name.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We scrapped all the old stuff too, so don't do any of that old stuff anymore.
Okay, so you don't play it anymore.
No,
None of it, yeah.
No, none of
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
get rid of that.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Start new, right? Keep moving forward, right? You already made that, so might as
Yeah.
well make something new,
Well, and like I was telling you earlier, it all sounded like you were basically just ripping off Arctic Monkeys. So
Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah.
He was. Steve was saying to me before got on the podcast before you talked or came out that it's just people after shows would be like, "Oh yeah, you guys sounded great. You reminded me a lot of Arctic Monkeys," and that's not always. You don't always want to be compared to a band, right? And so that drove you to like want to change the name and do something a little new, right?
yeah, well, and the name was kind of ridiculous too. It's like the Crippled Strippers. Like people would always be like, "Oh, you're in a band? What's the name of your band?" I'd be like, "The Crippled Strippers."
Wait.
Like, oh, you'll never forget it. But yeah, I mean, like some of our old stuff was like, it's just like painfully, just like Arctic Monkeys. Like, I think that's pretty like early Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Just that guitar riff was very self-explanatory in the Arctic Monkeys vibe,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it was pretty bad. Our singer, a lot of people would be like, "Oh, your singer sounds like he's British," even though he like didn't at all. But they were just like, associating it so
no
much
way.
with Arctic Monkeys that we were just like, "All right, dude, like,
All right, we got to switch it up a little bit.
we gotta move away from this." Yeah. So this will be the first thing we've ever released as Foxglove. Should be cool.
Right on,
That's
man.
cool, yeah.
This will be the first album I've ever done.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's really cool, man. Congratulations on that.
Thanks, man.
Seriously,
Yeah, that's a
'cause-
feat.
Yeah. We all know how hard it is to like get your own music made and like actualize at times. And so I don't know. That's really cool, man. Good for you guys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. When do you have a release date maybe, or?
We don't have a release date. We're working on it right now. Probably we'll have a release date along with a single.
Yeah.
So I mean, the single probably give it like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're tracking drums this week. We
that's
got
cool.
we got all those scratches done. So
Yeah. Where are you tracking drums?
in our producer's living room.
That's cool, though.
The way to do it.
Yeah.
No, we did
Home
it.
studios.
We did it before on Jane, and the drums actually sounded really good.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just kind of sticking it out.
Sticking with it, yeah. So
See
you're
how it
doing
goes.
all of the producing and recording in a home studio kind of thing, or are you doing overdubs here and there in different locations?
I mean, right now the plan is just to do it all at like a home studio.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we like I said, we've done it before. We just like stick the amps in a closet, just like stick a 57 and a ribbon mic on it, and just kind of see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's worked out before. I don't think anyone needs to pay an exorbitant amount of money to go to a professional recording studio.
Yeah, no, I think that's some of the trend nowadays, right? It's like breaking some of those old conventions in
Yeah.
music. You can really, you see some people who are so popular now just because they post Instagram videos, like they don't even have an album out or something. And so I think there's a lot of different ways of going about it. And I agree with you. It's like you don't necessarily need to pay that exorbitant amount of cash to get a good album or an album you're happy with, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and, especially with like the stuff that's available now, like you can have a studio quality interface for like $800.
Totally.
Like what you're using right there.
The Apollo stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. UA
yeah.
stuff is great.
Plug in UA.
Plug in UA.
So what are some of the inspirations for you as a musician, and maybe even on this new album for you, just in general? Like what drives you to want to write a new song or get together with your band?
I mean, usually, to be honest, I actually don't write with my pedals a whole lot. Like, there's some stuff where it's just like built around the pedal, like, you know, the one with the multi-delay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of dicking around with the pedal when I first got it, and I was like, oh, that's rad. But, yeah, I mean, to be honest, that was like very, like, I was inspired by Block Party for that one, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of my big inspirations always, as far as, like, blending effects into my music, has always been, like, Russell Lysack from Block Party, and then Arctic Monkeys not so much recently, just because they've kind of gone the whole, like, British Elvis route, but, yeah.
That was a great description. I like that. It is. It's like Alex was like, this is now my band that I'm fronting, and I'm a British Elvis.
Yeah. Yeah, you see he's got a goatee now?
Oh, no, I haven't seen the goatee. That's another level, man.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I've seen the leather jacket, the pompadour, the aviators.
Yeah, I mean, that's yeah. That
I
was
mean, I
like
guess
him
that's
in his
been
prime.
around.
Yeah, that's been around for a while. But yeah, the goatee is new. He's turned into a dad. But yeah. Anyway, a lot of my inspirations as to, like, you know, getting into guitar was in the early days. Actually, was like Metallica. Jimi Hendrix was definitely my big one.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how I got away with, like, not taking lessons, because I would just kind of just like do blue stuff and just kind of see what happened.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, in the spirit of Jimi Hendrix, right? Like, he was a big believer just to sit down and play your guitar, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You need some of the bullshit in between.
Yeah, well, I mean, I write some, like, weird stuff, like some weird jazz stuff. I have no idea what I'm playing, and I just kind of make up names for it, like whatever this is right here. It's like weird stuff like that. Like, I showed it to my, like, you know, instructor that works with me. I was like, what is that? He's like, oh, that's like a E minor 7th, you know, with like a B major or whatever. I'm like, cool, man.
Yeah, all right. Like, all right.
Like, that's pretty cool. I mean, I just think it sounds good.
I love that approach to guitar. You don't see it enough. I think there's a big focus right now in the guitar world and community on, like, people who are technically very good at guitar, but that doesn't always make good music or guitar music. You know?
Oh, definitely.
And I think, like, a lot of those people are hyped up right now, and for me, I think there's this, like, call to a return to, like, songwriting in a more organic way, especially with, like, all the different media outlets nowadays. Like, you can really put your music out there in any way you want, but I think there's I don't know, there's definitely a space that could be filled even further with people really writing original music and not so focused on the technical stuff. Show us some of those more little, like, jazzy things you just write randomly. I don't know.
So I actually, like, pretty recently I started getting into, like, mathcore music, because I was like,
no way.
I was just like, you know what, I feel like if I can play that, I can do pretty much anything.
Like Goja or
like Chon.
Yeah.
I love Chon.
Okay. And Pliny.
Yeah.
And those guys, yeah.
You know, I'm actually not a huge Pliny fan. I don't know why. I think I like Chon just because it's just, like, instrumental. You just kind of chill, listen to it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. But Chon's a big one. So I do, like, yeah, so that's, like, that's one of them. And then there's one that's in a new song that we're doing.
Definitely reminds me of Chon, but with your own style mixed in there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there was one time I was on break at work and I was playing it, and some guy came up and he was like, very Chon, man. Very Chon. I'm like, cool. I'll take it. This one, what was cool about this one is I was like, the social media people, because I mean, I work at the Guitar Center down the street from the corporate office. So we get, like, the corporate people coming in there all the time. Which is, you know, it's
Which
cool.
is stressful.
It's cool and it's stressful, yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on who you meet.
I was gonna say I could see some of your reserve in your expression.
But honestly, like, you know, it's Guitar Center. It's not like anyone's like, you address me as sir. It's like, what's up, dude? You know, like the CEO of the company is like, what's up? How you doing,
What's
brother?
up?
Yeah. But the social media people came in with a bunch of, like, the new Fender stuff. Did, like, an Instagram video of me playing this one, but it's, like, super spacey. There's like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Love that ending.
That's
dude.
cool.
Yeah, that one actually, like, I got a classical guitar for like $30, and I was like, oh, let's stick around on this, and I like found that. I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, man, I really like that. I like your playing. It's much different than what a lot of people will just jump into some very like classic riffs or some, just some like stuff you've heard a million times. So it's cool to hear some new stuff. There we go. Now we're talking.
It had to happen eventually.
It's funny, actually. I get to walk around all the time with those like Line 6 wireless things. And I always play just like the most disgusting, just like 80s metal. Like, I always do that one Megadeth song. A lot of just like garbage
so
stuff like that. Yeah.
So you just walk around the store.
Yeah.
Just play it.
I mean, I'm not complaining. Like, I'll play whatever you want if you want me to walk around and get paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's this one guy I met at work who was like, I was like, oh, so like, what's your deal, man? Like, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I play music. It's my profession. I do whatever I want. You want me to sing to you in bathtub? I'll do for $50.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got a deal.
You're like, you got it, man.
That dude knows how to market himself.
I mean, I can't imagine how much money he's made just like busking to people in the bathtub. Busking in the Bathtub, the new album by that guy.
It's a great EP album name.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about your guitars and everything?
Yeah, so this is my newest one right here. It's a 60th anniversary Fender Thinline Telly. This thing's super rad. It weighs like 4 pounds. It's like It's like nothing, which is cool because I'm a bitch and I don't like to carry lots of heavy stuff.
No, it makes sense. It hurts your shoulder when you got that heavy guitar on the whole show,
Yeah, this thing feels like nothing. I could like throw this, but yeah, I mean, it's super cool. I like, just saw it on, on the website and it was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I wanted a telly for a while. And I had one of the rosewood neck tellies that they just came out with.
Yeah.
I just like wasn't digging it.
Was it the pure rosewood one? Like body and neck, the George Harrison one or no? No, just one of the rosewood neck ones.
Yeah, the George Harrisons I actually wasn't a huge fan of either though. But
That's a custom shop one, right?
Those ones, no. They did do a custom shop. They did like 50 of them.
What was the con for you or your personal feeling with it?
The neck just wasn't right.
Shape or just the feel of it?
The shape. The feel was great. But this one I definitely like more because it's a satin finish on it. It's not so sticky. Actually before I started working at the music store I work at now, I hated Fenders.
Oh, really?
I was like I'll never own a Fender.
Wow. And you brought 2 today.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And I'm getting a third. I'm getting one of those new Jaguars that just came out. I just gotta wait until next month.
Nice. Yeah, the new line looks great.
Yeah, the American Originals.
Totally. I like the throwback to some of the more like vintage looks and designs.
Oh yeah. I'm getting the surf green one to match my head.
Yes. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. That's great.
But yeah, so this one it's just great because it's just a really solid maple neck. I can like destroy this thing and it stays in tune. But yeah, I mean it's like this is my first telly.
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking guitar.
Yeah, I think so. It's super rad. And I mean it's got the binding too.
Yeah.
And the binding's pretty cool too because it's like it's tortoiseshell, but it's so dark that it just looks like black.
Yeah, I see exactly what you mean. I was gonna say, is that black binding on there? But
no, if you look like right there, you can see it's tortoiseshell.
That's even sweeter though. I mean,
it's
because then it's the fine detail too. When you look up close, there's those little surprises in designs that, like I have a 60th anniversary Stratocaster from them, and just the way they like on the top of the neck even curved out that little like spot where they put the nameplate.
Yeah.
Even just the fact that they curved that out, like those little design details in the design are like, why personally I really like Fender. I mean, I think you have to go beyond their standard models most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, my 60th anniversary one's beautiful. This is a beautiful looking telly in that nice sort of cream off-white too.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, ooh. I was like, what's that?
Yeah, it's got a good vintage vibe to it.
Yeah, it's definitely super cool, and it's a thin line. So I mean, I think that you get a much better sound out of it. This is my Jazz Master right here. This is I definitely like tore this thing apart. I threw a mastery bridge on it. This is just like one of the cheaper Mexis. When I got it, it had a humbucker in the bridge, and it's like a really awful like Mexi P90 in the neck. So I routed it and just put the 2 P90s in there, and then put some 500K pots in there. And
That's cool.
Through the mastery bridge.
So this is your Frankenstein experimentation jazz kind of thing.
This is my Frankenstein experimentation kind of jazz thing.
Yeah.
That should be the official title.
Yeah, this thing is just full of bite though. It's you definitely gotta roll down the volume a ton.
Those jazzes are loud.
And the neck pickup is definitely like the more like toned back. This is like the one guitar I'm always hesitant to use in the studio because it just buzzes like everywhere.
Dude,
but
same with my jazz.
dude, yeah, it's the bridge. It's awful.
Fucking jazz thing, I guess.
But it just like it plays so great.
I guess that's why. I don't actually know the distinction, but I guess that's why some people prefer like only a specific type of jazz master or a bridge on it. Do you know anything about the
People
bridge
like
type?
this bridge.
This
The
one
mastery.
better. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
this one is still kind of a pain in the ass because you can't adjust every string the way you want it. So you have to adjust it like by 2, which sucks.
It's not convenient.
It's not convenient at all. Yeah, I mean, it definitely works better than the normal one where if I just went, the strings would fly off. You know?
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah, this one's definitely like more airy. And I mean, I think it takes distortion a little bit better too.
Got a nice thick tone, that loud jazz master tone, a little bite like you're saying.
Yeah, and you know, it's great for like the noise rock kind of like Sonic Youth thing. Like,
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
hesitant to ask if you were inspired by noise rock because some people would find that insulting.
I like
A
noise
little
rock.
bit, yeah.
Like Yuck. I love Yuck.
Oh,
Regret.
that's awesome. I haven't
Yeah.
heard anybody ever reference Yuck outside my own brain.
I know that is.
Yeah, it's actually like what made me. I actually hated this guitar for like maybe the last year. I was trying to get rid of it. I plugged it into this amp and just like dimed it, and I just thought it sounded so good.
Is this your low or high gain?
It's at low gain. Let me actually turn the high gain on.
Oh, yeah.
I can just hear it
yeah.
right away. So
That's nasty.
It growls.
That's
It's pretty
crunchy.
nasty, and that's just the amp. That's no pedals or anything. It's just
Fucking badass.
It's dirty.
Yeah, man, I like that. That's dirty. Because, like you said, you could do noise rock with that. I mean, you could do just straight up rock and roll blues with that. I mean, take it to a lot of different places. Yeah.
yeah. This one was just kind of. I just like saw it, and I was really into Queens of the Stone Age at the time, and I was like, oh yeah, it'd be kind of cool to have a jazz master.
Nice. Yeah. I
Yeah.
like Queens, man.
I'm going to see them like next week.
Oh, really? Wow. Where are they, what venue are they playing?
The Forum.
Oh,
that's
the
cool.
The
Yeah.
Fabulous Forum or the Fantastic Forum? I think they call it the Fabulous Forum.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's whatever they want it to be if Queens of the Stone Age is there.
Yeah, right. It's the fucking Forum if Queens of the Stone Age is there.
The fucking floor.
I love like one of my favorite. It sticks with me to this day. Just like one of my favorite titles of a song ever, or I guess this is an album title, right? Is "Music for Deaf People"
Songs for the deaf.
or "Songs for the Deaf." Yeah.
Music for deaf.
I kind of like my name better. I don't know.
A little bit, yeah.
No, but
Let's get Josh Homme on the air here.
Yeah, he'd slap me in the
give him a
face
call.
for
He'd kick you in the
misname-
face.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't have a camera.
I still love Josh though.
Yeah, you know what? My feeling on that, I'd love to hear your opinion too, but my feeling on that was just like, he probably was trying to be fucking rock and roll, which not a lot of people do anymore. And this girl was probably annoying, taking way too many photos. And he probably thought, oh, I'm just going to kind of like kick the camera out of her hands and do something very rock and roll. Like, fuck it,
Yeah.
I'll buy her
Oh,
a
he
camera.
kicked her in the face?
Yeah, and he ended
That's
up
a thing?
kicking her in the face because he missed the camera. And so people blew up about Josh Homme. And for me, I was kind of like, I don't think he meant to kick her in the face. He was trying to just be a badass rock and roller, break her camera. He probably thought, I'll pay for it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what that but, you know, I'm projecting. I don't know Josh Homme's thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think.
What do you think?
I think he was just trying to kick a bunch of cameras over. He knocked over a bunch of other shit too. So I think he was just trying to be rock and roll. I mean, he apologized. You know.
Yeah.
was-
And
I think all of us have been an asshole and apologized at one point. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it makes us human.
Austin's like, I haven't.
Yeah, no,
Austin's like, nah, I'm a saint.
no.
I'm perfect. Hey, by the way, did you know that I was on the War on Drugs?
I love that you
he
just
got
made
me.
a joke.
Got him.
Got me. That's so funny. I gotta give him one too. Boom.
That's one of our favorite things to do.
But anyways,
Just
talking about the
rip
war
on
on drugs.
Yeah, didn't they just win a Grammy?
Didn't they just want to? Yeah. When
I mean,
you, Austin.
didn't I just win a Grammy?
did what?
That was like my
What?
first
I
question.
slowly point in the corner. Like, did I just? There's a Grammy up there.
That was
man.
my first question. Like, do you get a Grammy too? And you're like, I don't really know. I don't really know.
I guess we'll just see what
I
happens.
guess. Well, yeah.
I
Maybe
guess
it
if a
comes in the
Grammy
mail. It's like in a FedEx box.
You have to pay for the
I
shipping.
was going to say, does it
You have to pay for the Grammy.
yeah, you have to, or no, you get the Grammy for free, but you have to pay the taxes on it. Yeah. Kind of like when you win those cars, and like like the McDonald's, like the Monopoly things they got going on.
Uh-huh.
If you win a car on that, you still have to pay all the tax on it.
Yeah. So what
No
happens
way.
is these
Really?
It's
Yeah.
like, hey, congratulations on this car. Hope you have $2,000.
Yeah. It's like, oh shit, I can't get that.
It's like, oh,
That's why.
well,
It's like
buy
why
car.
I didn't get the car in the first place.
Yeah.
I know, and it's screwed up because somebody who like wins a car via McDonald's probably doesn't have the money to pay for a car payment or taxes or anything, and it's like it's fucked up.
What a bummer, man. They wish they had a Grammy.
And then they can melt it down for the gold and sell it.
Sell the Grammy on like eBay or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
won this. I'm not that into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, does it just like show up in a FedEx box? Do they show up and like roll out the red carpet and have like
I don't know,
trumpeters just like standing along in a
Yeah.
line while someone walks up with a Grammy on a white pillow? Just like,
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Custom stitched felt
They
suit.
spell my last name
Vel-
wrong.
Squidward tennis balls.
Oh.
Deep reference.
Oh, yeah.
That was good. That was a
I
good
dug
reference.
that one.
Deep reference. What else haven't we talked about on here yet? Favorite thing at NAMM? Was it
Did
cool?
you did you go?
I didn't go, but I gawked at everything over the internet.
Me too.
Literally
It's like
sitting there
being
at my
at home.
computer drooling. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everybody's at the party and you're at home alone on a Saturday. That's how I felt.
Just
Like
watching
just,
their Snapchat story. Like, oh
wow,
man,
this party looks so fun.
seems like a lot of fun.
Glad
Do you
I'm
see
not
that
at it.
pedal coming out? I think it's been out for a while now, but the pedal from API.
No,
It's like an
Not
API
even
preamp
familiar.
and a compressor and EQ.
I haven't seen that.
It's like the size of a fucking Mootron. It's like half. It would take up like half a
Oh,
normal
that's
board
probably why I'm
size.
not interested.
It looks pretty fucking cool.
That's pretty cool.
I think it's a 512 and then like a 550A and then some compressor. I don't know if it's like the 2-bus compressor from API, but
So wait, is it rack mounted or does it sit on your board?
it sits on your board.
Oh, that's nuts.
It's like it's like the size of a Mootron, but
That's
Gnarly.
interesting.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I'll have to check that out.
So
Yeah.
was that your probably the thing that,
That was
stood
a
out to you
big
the
thing,
most?
yeah.
For me, it was like it seems like a odd thing, but I don't know if you guys know Milkman sound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The little 5-watt amp.
yes,
Yeah.
that was the thing I was most interested in. I just thought that was badass, and they're pushing the boundaries on what you can do with like I guess a pedal. It's not really a pedal; it's literally an amp, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It's got reverb and gain on it, and
I don't even. Does it have reverb?
I think, or maybe I'm just making that up. I'd have to look it up.
Because I think it was just one knob. Oh no, that's the new Supro. So the Milkman.
Yeah, the Milkman has some options.
Milkman, I think, does have some options.
Yeah, and I think one of them is reverb, and I think the other's gain, and obviously they let you control some of the EQs of the amp. But I don't know, I just thought that was cool, and it's like
Yeah.
this big. I don't know,
Yeah.
depending on what you're working with, you
That's
could have a little
cool.
amp. Yeah,
Yeah, if you just want to like record something, just like super tiny, yeah that's a great option for sure. Supro did the same thing too, and it's like it's like the cheapest thing Supro's ever done. It's like $800, which is like a little bit more than a Blues Junior, but you get a 5-watt amp that's got one knob for volume, and that's it.
Wait, why'd they make that?
It's
Just
they
to
made
have
it,
like a.
they made it like way back in the day, and now it's just like a reissue. But yeah, that's the same thing as Milkman, really.
Yeah,
You just
true.
want to like record an amp, and you just want like nice drive. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. And I saw too. I mean, for me, the thing with Milkman too is I was just thinking about like using smaller amps too, and how like sometimes you want like you could push the speaker of a small amp to sound way better than it does just on its own. I don't know. That's where it was interesting to me. But other than that, I don't know. I was more interested in instruments. I don't know about you guys. Like Tosin Abasi released his guitar line. I thought that was pretty fucking cool. I don't know. Those are some of my favorites.
I was definitely blown away by just all of Fender's new stuff, like the Parallel Universe series.
What is that?
Oh, dude, it's so sick. They did like hybrids between certain guitars. So they have like a Telecaster that's got Jazzmaster pickups and like a Jazzmaster tremolo.
Are they going to sell those?
Yeah, they're doing.
I have mixed feelings about those.
The Jaguar Strat looks really cool. I was like, I need that. But and then they did some stuff that they scrapped back in the day too, like the Troublemaker Telly. That was like their solution to the Les Paul back in like the 70s. It was like a short scale neck with like wide range humbuckers and a mahogany body and neck, and like an adjustomatic bridge. But they were like, we don't need that. And then they made the Telly Deluxe. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They just decided they're going to do that again. But yeah, I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, I thought the Fender was trying to have like, maybe this is the wrong hit on it, but I thought they were trying to have like fun this year.
Yeah.
Like Fender didn't take it that seriously, like in the sense that like, oh, let's release some legendary product. I liked that. They weren't fighting to do something terribly different, but the hybrid universe was like just enough surprise and fun for people. I don't know, like I was thinking about that Jag Strat. And somebody made a good point, like you're taking a Strat and then like taking out everything that makes a Strat. So I just wonder how it would sound. I'd like to get one in my hands and play it.
It's going to sound like a Jag.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the pickups though, because if they're Strat pickups wired to like be like a Jag and have like out of series switch on it and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. But,
yeah, that would. I'd like to get one in or be cool to have them in here.
Yeah.
Demo them out.
Yeah.
If
I
only.
think they're not going to be coming out for a while though. I don't think. But yeah, I don't know. I think the new American Original series look pretty cool too. I can't wait to get my Jag. It's going to be so sick.
Yeah, dude. Those were some of the most, like that gold Strat, even that old school one. I don't know. I like the design direction they went this year for sure.
They play really good too. I got to play all of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like when those corporate people came over to the store, I got to play the Jag. It's like they brought the double bound Telly and like the other Telly that they had, and then two Strats and the P bass. They play great, man.
Really?
Yeah, I was. That's
cool.
It's funny because actually before they brought it over, I was like, dude, like why are they doing that? That's so stupid. They're gonna be like the Mexies now doing like, the 60s Strat, the 70s Strat. Like there's a big difference between like a 62 and a 63 guitar. But they're great. They play cool.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I mean, if you want like a specific year recreated, that sucks. But
yeah,
I mean, I think they're cool.
I'm gonna check one out. Are they only making that one color? Like I only saw one color for each one, or is there different colors on it?
It depends on the model. So like the Jaguar has 3 colors. There's like surf green, candy apple red, and then what's the other one? Just like sunburst. And then I think like the double bound Telly is like red and blue.
Ooh,
yeah, which is cool.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, they definitely look very vintage vibe, like you said, without being the Mexican like 60s vibe Strats, which. Ugh, I don't know. Just yeah, that's all I could say.
I mean, the Mexis are cool. This is a Mexi. I think this thing's all right. I mean, the worst part about it's the bridge, which actually is not the stock bridge. So
yeah, I was gonna say certain Mexican models are very good. I even have a bass that's a Mexican model, and then I ended up putting an American neck on it once my old neck bowed out. But some of those 60 vibes one, I don't know what it is. The pickups just sound way too like crunchy.
Too aggressive.
Yeah, like a lot of top end, very aggressive, very like, I don't know, too like copper to me. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't know if you guys know Ronin guitars. That's one I've had an eye on them for like a long time. They're unreasonably expensive as far as I know, but man, I'd like to play one or have one. They're just super sweet. But those seemed pretty hyped up this year. I saw a lot of people at their booth, and they did a whole, I think, collab with like I think it was like Chase Bliss or somebody like, and Benson amps or something, where it was like all of them kind of in an amalgam together, and then you could demo the pedals on a Ronin, and I don't know, that was cool. But I've had my eye on them, and but that was my NAMM highlights.
Mostly guitars and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the guitars. I'm a big guitar. I mean, I like pedals. I don't use them that much in my playing, and when I do, they're a pretty simple effects. Like I don't need to have like a $500 delay to do some of the stuff, or a $300 delay to do some of the stuff I do with my playing.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. So like I get less interest in them. I'd like to buy a bunch, but I don't have the money to dump into pedals right now, you know? So it's like if I could buy them and just try them out and have different ones swapping in and out, I would, but I don't know.
Pedal Genie.
Oh, what's Pedal Genie?
Wait, whoa, what?
Yeah, dude, there's this website called Pedal Genie. What was that service where you could like buy games and then like send them back when you were done? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like,
I know exactly what you mean. I don't know the name,
Gamefly?
Gamefly,
Oh, yeah,
So
Gamefly.
Pedal Genie is Gamefly for pedals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you for telling us that, man. That like changes my whole thinking about our podcast.
Holy shit. So how does that work?
Oh, I don't know. I've never done it, but
but we're gonna have to do that.
Yeah,
that would be great for the podcast. It'd save us so much money.
I'm pretty sure that's like what people do, like that just like want to start like
those guys,
like a pedal review channel, you know, until you take off and you're like Knobs or like Andy from Pro Guitar Shop, you know. Or sorry, Reverb.
Yeah.
Rip Pro Guitar Shop.
R.I.P. Yeah, we always joke about like at one point when we run out of our own, we'll just go to Guitar Center and buy them and like return them the next day. But that's a way better idea,
that, man.
Oh, he's our inside man. What are you talking about?
He'll see us come in and be like, "Oh no,
these fuckers,
no, these fucks."
Or you just get to the point where the people just start sending you free shit.
Yes,
so
that is our ultimate goal,
Yeah.
right? Like to be sponsored. / have people just send them in, demo, and we'll send them back in exchange for indirect content, you know? Because then we could maybe have a minute video of people playing pedals, but that's kind of our thinking, you know, as we go forward. Hopefully, right, we have people just sending them in saying, let us know what you think. You know? It'd be nice.
Until you get to the point where you're like, hi, I'm Annie from Pro Guitar Shop. I'm playing a 1965 Fender Jazzmaster through a 3 Monkeys Grease Monkey 30. Here's my clean tone. Not clean.
I love that. The high gain, too. Anyways, folks, as always, thank you for tuning into the StompBox situation. If you want to reach out to us on social media, we're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Our Gmail account is stompboxpod@gmail.com.
Plug in the Gmail.
Yes, hell yeah. It's for our question of the day, which we didn't do today.
What?
We didn't do a question of the day today. Normally we do one, so we'll put our email out there, but we never get anybody respond yet.
Do you have a question of the day?
Ooh, question of the day. Jaguar or Jazzmaster, and why?
I like it.
They're like the same thing, but just different. Just different enough.
Yes, yes. You heard it, folks. Jazzmaster or Jaguar? Jaguar.
Thanks for coming in, dude.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Oh, wow. It's so much quieter with the...
Let's find out.